In the richest continent in the world, on the surface we are blessed. Land is golden, literally, a true paradise, which of course is inhabited by the most beautiful souls. On a deeper level, we are blessed with the real treasures, the kings and queens of this world desire.
Anyone who's been to the Jewel House at the Tower of London will know there are several crowns to be seen there. This great diamond is a more recent addition. The first star of Africa is even bigger and is in the scepter. Both of them are parts of an immense diamond which was found in South Africa. This is a model which shows you what it looked like.
Besides gold and diamonds, we have about 20 precious minerals that have been discovered as of today. Of course, the West needs Africa's resources most desperately.
I use an example of the DRC. If you ever fly very low over the DRC, you'll see tarmacs in the jungle. You'll see 747s flying into DRC, picking up minerals and flying right out.
To power airplanes, cell phones, computers, and engines.
The same multinationals are responsible for arming young people and giving them MK-16s. Because why? Their satellites in the skies are telling them where that village is. There are lots of diamonds.
And the golden, of course. One thing that keeps me puzzled, the following question remains unanswered. Why is it that 5,000 units of our currency is worth 1 unit of your currency, where we are the ones with the actual gold reserves?
The sheer survival of the World Bank IMF is based on the fact that African countries do not succeed. Their success is based on our failure.
It's super sweet of you to come with your colored paper in exchange for our gold and diamonds.
That has to change. And guess who can make that change? We, the children of Africa.
We believe in organization of African unity.
The African youth are not taking it anymore. They want what belongs to them.
We stand for the transfer of power.
And this is where the diaspora come in.
Europe not only ransacked the continent of money and resources, but also people. 12 million Africans were taken into slavery and shipped across the Atlantic.
Now you listen here, my boy, and you listen well.
Even today, the poorest African countries are the ones that have the most slaves taken.
You are not the master.
That is exactly what I am, and you better remember it!
It is time to acknowledge openly that much of Europe and the United States have been built from the vast wealth harvested from the sweat, tears, blood, and horrors of the transatlantic slave trade and the centuries of colonial exploitation.
Let them understand what is really going on in our Africa, because they are not understanding the root cause of why Africa is where it is today.
At the moment, they are coming back home anyway.
Ghana has granted citizenship to African Americans and Afro-Caribbeans. Ghana is the first African country to grant citizenship to our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora.
And the world should not pretend that the present-day economic and social conditions of Africa have nothing to do with the historical injustices that have fashioned the structures of the world. Reparations must be paid.
Yesterday, a couple of the American officials called what's been going on in Geneva a tribal dance. How do you react to it?
Well, if it was a dance to our own tune.
So let's look at an Africa that must be free to take care of herself, an Africa that's free from exploitation from outsiders.
So how does the West ensure that the free aid keeps coming? By systematically destabilizing the wealthiest African nations.
Many are calling for the UN to leave the countries
who are stealing from Africa every day in broad daylight.
While one hand gives under the flashing lights of cameras, the other takes in the shadows. Well done, Oxfam, UNICEF, Red Cross.
We black people must understand what is really going on, because what we are shown instead is, oh, look at those Africans killing each other.
You go to Nigeria, which is, if not the most corrupt nation in Africa, and it is, it could be the most corrupt nation in the world.
That doesn't make sense.
Can you think of one more corrupt?
Yeah, I'm living in one.
There are some serious games that have been played in Africa for far too long.
Colonization, seizing land from the original people, indigenous people of the country.
And we're too busy being diplomatic, not hitting the nail in the head.
The big powers of the United Nations might be preaching democracy, fairness, and justice around the world, but are happy to practice the opposite here.
What will happen to these people if they don't go by the time they move?
I think they will not sit comfortable here in Uganda. I will tell you this.
What will you do to them?
Okay, you will see.
Any species that overexploiting the resources they depend on as nourishment, natural selection would sooner or later take the predator out. What nature created from the darkest substance, under the influence of heat and pressure, transforms into the strongest, most brilliant rocks.
So the potential is already there, and the growth is already beginning.
6 out of 10 of the world's fastest growing economies are in Africa. These will be our future.
We have a new generation of leaders who know that we must take responsibility for our own destiny, the rebirth of our continent.
So if you are someone here today who thinks that Africa will never catch up with the rest of the world, I want to say that you will be proved wrong.
I think you know this.